All right. So I understand that you all had a good, very good time studying the topic 45 last week. So today we are starting for the 46 onwards, okay? The pessimistic, diabolical, or demoniac theory. Here we shall enter upon another order of ideas. Having proven the intervention of an outside intelligence, it was then necessary to try to understand its nature. The easiest means would undoubtedly have been to simply ask it, but certain individuals did not see this as a sufficient guarantee. Instead, they preferred to see all the manifestations as the work of the devil. According to them, only the devil or demons could communicate in such a manner. Although this theory is a little accepted nowadays, it's enjoyed some credit for a while in virtue of the special character of those who sought to make it prevail. Let me stop here first. Do you believe that was only at Kardec's time, or this is still valid nowadays? I think
it's still valid nowadays. It's very easy for people to condemn something without investigating or do anything, just criticize straight away. And it's quite easy to say that's the work of devil. It's very easy to say such a thing.
You are right. You are right. And regardless that today we have a bit more conscious about the world, about science, about what is possible or not, we still have a lot of people that think the same. And sometimes, regardless if they think it's true or not, this is a way to justify their fear, to justify the way they want to convince people not to follow the Spiritist ideas, concepts. So it is pretty much alive, that information.
Gil, it's Christine from Australia.
Hi, Christine.
Hi. Sorry, I've just joined, but it's interesting that you're reading this, and I'm just rereading this passage. My son actually does ghost tours, and we were having a conversation the other night, and I said to him, we actually agree on a lot of things, but you don't understand what I'm talking about when I say we agree. And I put my hand up like I was taught in the Spiritism meeting. When you put your hand up, you're looking at a spirit. And I said to him, put your hand up. And he said, what about it? I said, you're looking at a spirit. And I said, when you conduct your ghost tours, you're even though, and this is what I was going to ask, is a ghost the same as a spirit, or is it a disgruntled or angry spirit that just can't move on?
It is exactly the same. It's the same thing, right? Some people address them as spirits, as ghosts, as souls. Doesn't matter. The nature of what it is the same, right? So yeah, it is the same, right? And how many?
Oh, hi, Guilherme. Yeah, I think people in general, they come with this ready-made answer because someone told them, or, out of ignorance, they say, oh, it's the work of the devil, But I think people who know religion, who are interested in the subject, they no longer say, it is demoniac or whatever, what we do. But we should also remember that Jesus was accused of, doing the work of the devil when he cured. The Pharisees accused him, of, performing the cures he performed as the work of the devil. And then he came, very clear answer. Well, look at the fruit, By the fruits you know the tree.
MUNIR, something that came to my mind is that people are prepared to accept that those events could only be from devil, right? Why? Only the devil has that power. Only the devil has that right. If we think that the devil can do this, God can do much more, I guess. Otherwise, we are saying that the devil is more powerful than God. Is that what we think? I think it would be more acceptable to believe that both have exactly the same power. It would be more natural to believe that. If both have exactly the same power, the same means to produce a phenomena, the communication could be from the devil, but could also be from God, right? So
Yeah.
it's reasoning, right? I think if we practice the reasoning that Kardec told us to do many, many times, at least we will start to ask ourselves.
Yeah.
Gil, it's Christine again from Australia. Sorry.
I could see.
Is a devil just an evil spirit? Is that what we call the devil with Kardec's impressions or doctrine?
Let's think a little bit about that word, devil, right? Dante Alighieri, he did a marvelous work describing what he saw in his paintings. And he painted very ugly pictures. And we could see that through history. A lot of representation of bad beings with horns, with ugly faces, red faces, whatever. And we all carry on through the centuries that picture in our hearts. A good person is very white, translucent, with a lot of light around, and a bad person is the devil. Horns, red, tails, forks, you name it. At the end of the day, they are all spirits. Some of spirits are misguided, are mistaken about what they believe. And that's all. They are all spirits. Some of them, because they practice bad choices for too long, and they really believe they are evil, they start to wear different clothes, let's say, darker clothes. When the person that does good all the time tries to use white clothes, for example. What we need to understand is that those beings that we call angels or the devil, they are spirits. They've been conceived equally by God. The choices that they make, because they have the right to do, will allow them to wear different clothes. But inside those clothes, they are spirits. And every spirit that is misguided is not misguided forever. One day, they may start to see things with a different pair of eyes. And we see that over and over on the mediumship meetings. Many of them, they come to the meeting making a lot of noise. I am this, I am that. You should not bother me because I am the devil. They come. After a period of conversations, sometimes they change their perspective. Quite often, those spirits, they are wearing that mask, if I can call like that. They be suffering a lot. And this process is started with a lot of love. When we love someone very, very much, and something happens to break that bond, the great majority of time, we start to hate that person. For many reasons. So in my little experience, the darkest cases started with a strong love. For a period of time, this particular spirit will be very dark. We will ignore any type of assistance, any type of light. Nevertheless, inside them, they have what they need to have light again. And sometimes, with a little help, this change start to happen. When you see a very angry spirit, he's only a spirit. Let's think about something here, right? We all are spirits. We know there are nice neighborhoods and bad neighborhoods. What is a nice neighborhood? We all know what is a nice neighborhood, right? But what is a bad neighborhood? A bad neighborhood is where you are taking chances. You can be mugged, you can be killed. You may have aggressions from left and right. But even in a bad neighborhood, there are good people there too, isn't it? They are there because they lack resources, maybe. They lack opportunities sometimes. When you look one person from a bad neighborhood that used to commit crimes, terrific crimes, what do you see? Do you see the devil in this person? Or do you see someone that missed opportunities and is misguided? It's exactly the same thing. Perhaps this person truly believes he's the worst criminal in the world. But he had a mother, he had a father. From the day he was born, I'm sure he had some sort of love from the parents or from someone that fed him, or at least from someone that gave him something to eat on the streets. But he had some sort of love. So we are all the same. The spirits, likewise. I hope that helps. We would point out, ironically, that the adherents of demoniac theory should not be regarded as being among Spiritism adversaries, but rather just the opposite. It is very common, not on the Spiritism, but in life. Because of what I believe is the right thing, anything else is wrong. If there anything else scares me, or I do not comprehend what is that thing that scares me, well, let me find an excuse and protect myself. This is from the devil. How many people were burned in stakes not too long ago in this continent, around the world, really? How many? By the way, it's still happening in some parts of the globe. You may be thinking, no, it's not true. Yes, it is true. People are burned because they are mediums. People are burned because they think they are devil. The world is not the same. The world is not the same. If we are here today, connected using this tool, the internet, we are in a nice place. I can guarantee that. We all here, we are in a nice place. But I can also guarantee the world is not only that. But for that, we need to travel a little bit. Don't believe in what I'm saying. Travel to places that you will be scared to travel. Travel to a place where you will be scared to buy a ticket. And then you will see things that you're not used to, things that you believe do not exist anymore. Whether they are demons or angels, the beings who communicate are always incorporeal. They are spirits. Thus, admitting the manifestation of demons is the same as admitting the possibility of communicating with the invisible world, or at least with a segment of this world. This is logic. If I'm speaking to something, if it's an angel or if it's a demon, I am speaking to something. So I am forced to agree that something exists. What is this something? And there's another thing too. Why we all are afraid about the devil, about the demons. Can you explain me? If they don't exist, why we are afraid of them? It's because we heard a lot of histories when we were little? Or because we believe there is something else? And if there's something else, I'm afraid about something else not being very nice with me. This is a type of question. Yeah.
I think normal humans, they are afraid of the unknown. It's just, I think it's a natural instinct. They're afraid of the unknown. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe we are afraid. I think since we're small, all the media, I mean, everything that you hear is bad about it, the devil. So it just not a nurture. I mean, you learn, you hear about it, and it's what you portray in the future. That's it.
I agree that things from that perspective are not pleasant. It's way better to be among angels instead of being among demons, right? But we had examples on earth. And the biggest example we had was Jesus. Everywhere he went, he promoted cure. He expelled bad spirits. So it means that the worst demon could be expelled by Jesus. Do we believe him or we don't believe him? Human nature always preferred to believe on the negative side. This is human. A positive person is not average. It's something that escaped from that. So if you do have a power that could help those that are misguided, why we don't believe that? There's a lot of mediums that go to mediumship meetings afraid about that. They want to go to mediumship meetings to speak with benefactors. That I'm happy with. But to help suffering spirits, I'm not prepared for it. I need to study more, or I can't, I'm not strong enough, or whatever. to speak up with very, very suffering spirits that sometimes come and say they are the devil. A lot of people don't want to be part of it. Mediums with years of experience, they don't want to be part of it. Why? There is a simple word that would help us a lot. Faith.
Guilherme,
Yeah?
well, good morning, everybody.
Hi, Liz.
Hello. I feel, as you said, you know, I don't know who was saying that since when we were young, we had heard about devil and evil and things like that. And it is, as you study Spiritism, it actually becomes really understandable that as human beings and as responsible for our own destiny, many times we just want to create something so that I can put the blame on what my mistakes are to that something, and it's out of me, not within me. And if something happens, it's not within me. So it is really comfortable, this vision. But as we study Spiritism, we get really faced with our own responsibilities as a person and what we have to do, because everything comes within us. And Kardec explains so well about what really is good and what really is evil, because evil is nothing more than ignorance. And sometimes a spirit for many lives can be so crystallized in repeating that same thing, the same habit, but they just become so blind to any other thing until something happens, and then they can change. But that something will always happen because God is always there to support us. No one is abandoned or anything. So when we take this view about us as being in a journey of development, it actually helps us to understand, and towards mediumship, to be able to be there and help someone that is in a journey just as we are. And sometimes people are so focused in their pain, and our job is to give them a window to see that there is love there. And once they see they have love, and it was there all the time, they kind of start to think about life in a different way. So that's what I feel about this devil business. Because when I say sometimes people, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, and it does make sense, Guilherme, as you said. It doesn't make a minimal sense. How can we say we believe in God and say that the devil is there? It's diminishing God in every single way.
Gil, it's Christine again. I agree with Liz 100%. I had an experience with my auntie and uncle at their place, and it was during the night, and I woke up all of a sudden, and I had my grandson with me at my auntie and uncle's, and they have a place where they see spirits all the time. They tell me about it. They're not scared. They just accept that they're there. And this particular night, I got up to check on my grandson, and I felt fear, and I went in protective mode because I felt fear for my grandson, and that's when I went to check on him in another room, and I felt he was fine. I said, "Leave my grandson alone." I said those words, and I went to go into another room, and I was actually stopped at a doorway. I couldn't move, but I just said, "I acknowledge that you're here, and I'm just a visitor, but I'm family, and I'm not to be feared, and I won't fear you, and don't go to my grandson. I need him to be able to sleep peacefully. And I just went back to bed. So since I've been doing spiritism and mediumship, I used to think devil, 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 but now I don't. As we just discussed, I believe it's just a spirit that is, for whatever reason, unable to accept the light, and hasn't gone to the light, and I feel more at peace with that.
I think that was a great experience. And one thing that I'd like to add on top of it is that our hearts and our thoughts are more powerful than we think they are. If you want to speak in a mediumship meeting or not, with a spirit, and your heart is not tuned properly, you may help, but that help could be limited. If your heart is in the right place, your objectives are in the right place, you will be able to do wonders. Put yourself in his or her shoes. You are in the spiritual world, you're coming to threaten someone, or you're coming to help, or whatever. And then you feel love back. Or you feel hunger. Which one would have better results? Hi, Cleo.
Hi. I just want to say very few words. I think this question was a very good question, because a lot of people have this idea and don't understand very well. And for me, this question is like the same when a child comes to their parents and say they are afraid of monsters, and especially during the night, because they see shadows and they believe that are monsters. But as they grow up and the parents explain to them that that is just shadow of trees or houses or whatever it is, they start to understand that monsters do not exist. And for me, devil is the same. We have that idea on our mind that has been put there through our childhood or any time in our lives. And as we study Spiritism, or we grow, we study more about spirits, we understand that devil do not exist. And I think the explanation of everybody here is it was amazing, because left no doubt about devil, if they do exist or not. Thank you.
We sometimes get lost in words. A person can be diabolical. We all can be diabolical. And we are eventually. We have moments in our lives that we all become diabolical. We become nasty. We become a very different person from time to time. We all do. And we can say, this person is diabolical today because made some choices or create some problems, and we say that. We all have the possibility to do bad things. And we all know we do, right? Sometimes we try to hide that, but we all do bad things. But there does not exist one being that was created with the purpose of being the devil. We all have been created equally. All choices made a difference. Hi, Ebony.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to compliment what Cleo and Liz said. Quite frankly, the truth is I don't believe in the devil. I never did. So I don't have this idea of the devil being some being, some individual being that's ugly and causing people to do evil. But I live in a society where Spiritism, and if people know that you're studying Spiritism and you're a Spiritist, you're actually ostracized and you're persecuted in one way or another. And that conflicts with the fact that, the country that I live in is considered to be a Christian country. The Christianity that is taught here has the devil as front and center as part of the ideology and ethos. So, it is very, very difficult to have a conversation with somebody who is a little bit confused and wants to know what is happening in their life, and to say to them that, you know what, the devil really doesn't exist, and to hold the devil up as somebody who exists together with God, there's a conflict there. So I don't know how Spiritism and the study of Spiritism could really help in helping others to get rid of that confusion, considering that there is so much reference in the Bible to Satan and the devil. And I know that I have lost a lot of friends, or so-called friends, because I've tried to express my own beliefs without trying to convince anyone. So my question really is, what do you think can be done? How we as Spiritists can really demonstrate what we believe, especially when we live in a Christian society with all these kinds of ideologies to contest with?
Let's dig out some thoughts here. I don't believe they were your friends in the first place. A friend is a friend, regardless if your faith is different than his or hers. So it was not a friend. In regards to, in my opinion, right? I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, I'm just saying my opinion. Every time I say something that comes from me, I'll say that's my opinion. And in regards to those Christians' religion, there's also a misunderstanding of what the Christ wanted in the first place. There was no Christian religion before Christ. Under Christ wouldn't do things they say they did or they want him to do. The Christ was love. The best description for the Christ was love. Everything he did was love. He only helped. And by the way, at that time, he helped prostitutes. He helped bad people. He helped people that we would not consider as human, but he did. Christ, Jesus Christ, was love. So there's a lot of misunderstanding about Christianity. A lot of people misguided by that flag killed thousands and thousands of people in the name of God, in the name of Jesus. So I'm just saying that to make you guys think about that. It's not because I'm calling myself Christian that I understand the true values of the Christ. It's not because of my church says or has a massive label in front of it saying that's from Christ, that what I'm preaching inside or what the person is preaching inside is in line with what the Christ showed to us. I would not try to convince anyone about anything. I said that here more than once, I think. But through the examples we can give every single day in our lives, we'll make people think. This is our tool, our examples, who we are. If I fight with them, with the same words, with the same aggressivity, with the same type of behavior, I'm not better than they are. On the other hand, if I do show mercy, love, care, helping others, those people start to think, what's going on? The devil is doing better things than I do. What's going on? The devil is changing because he's doing charity. That's the way I see. I'm talking too much, isn't it? Hi, Charles.
Hello, Guilherme. I think Liz rose her hand before me.
Yeah.
I could not see that. Hi, Liz. Sorry. Go on, Liz.
That's okay, Graham. I would just like to raise the concept of balance in the universe. Balance. The concept of yin and yang, light and dark, love and hate. To create balance in the universe, you have equal amounts of either dark or light or dark. You have the 100 names of God, or 99 in Islamic case, and all other names or the concept or adjectives for describing God. Now, half of those names are negative. The other half are positive. Just like electricity, you have a negative and diode and a positive. You also have the law of three, where you have the negative, positive, and the context or particular situation. So like yin and yang, the universe consists of dark and light, and where one planet goes into the light, as our particular planet in 3D is gradually going, another one will actually go further down. This is all about lessons, yeah, and this is all about balance. So to say that dark doesn't exist, even Carl Jung talks about, we all have both sides in us. There's the shadow in us, and we have to acknowledge that. Otherwise, we crystallize on the wrong foundation. Yeah. So it's bringing the unconscious into the conscious. So if we actually ignore the fact that there is evil or that there is dark, we are only growing on the wrong crystallization, on the wrong side. We all are both. The universe is both. You couldn't have balance without it. Do people understand where I'm coming from?
I hear what you're saying, but I do not agree entirely. Because we have a law of progression to start with.
Absolutely.
What is dark today will be light tomorrow. But what is light today will not be dark tomorrow. Okay? And we all have those two things inside us because we are evolving. But I don't need to have to be 50% of darkness and 50% of light to exist. There's a misconception about energies, a misconception about lots of things. But I truly believe that I have darkness on me and I'm working very hard to get rid of it. If I believe that 50% of darkness on me is acceptable because that's the way it is, I am going against Spiritism. And here, I am a Spiritist. So there is a lot of things in a lot of different creeds, in a lot of different philosophies. Some of them are in the same pace of Spiritism, some are not. So, law of progression.
Ultimately, our aim is to be pure consciousness, pure energy.
We will be poor spirits. Just energy is like electricity. Electricity does not have a will. Electricity does not have
consciousness. Consciousness I was talking about.
Yeah, consciousness is from a spirit.
Yeah.
Right. So we'll be poor spirits, but we are very, very far from that point.
Absolutely.
Right. So in the future, that's very, very far away from where we are. Eventually we will be, but that's not the case right now. Hi, Charles.
Yes, so I just wanted to add that the common sense is teaching that the devil as an entity which is definitively condemned to the evil does not exist. It makes no sense. It's an invention of the leaders of the churches to make the people afraid and to dominate them, threatening them about this stuff from the evil. So whatever they don't like mediumship, for instance, they say, oh, it's something from the evil and so on, without any other argument. So this is falling down with Kardec's reasoning that the evil does not exist. The devil does not exist. No, for the good and the evil, of course, evil exists, and this is due to the free will of the humankind. So we are free, so we are free to select the good or the evil. And as long as we will be with a lot of imperfections on the earth, like on the earth, there will be evil on the earth. But this is not forever. I mean, everyone, even the worst people, are also evolving and understanding that the evil is not the right way. Not good for their evolution, not good for their happiness, and they will, after suffering the consequences of the evil they have done, change to the good. And this is exactly where we are on the earth. So that's basically the argument. The devil, undefinitive or failed angel, which is undefinitively condemned to do bad things. This does not exist and makes no sense.
One thing that, Charles, when you were talking came to my mind is they are suffering spirits. No one will deny that. There are massive organizations that promote hate, sufferings, and else. They are very, very organized, more than we are. So yes, that difference exists. It's part of the existence, but that's temporal. And as we progress as humanity, as planet, they will be less and less and less. Hi, Munir. Munir?
Liz was in the queue as well, but I think she lowered her hand.
It's okay. It's okay, guys. I think Guilherme said everything I was trying to say. Thank you.
Okay, because sometimes I don't see everyone. So go, Munir.
Okay, thanks, Guilherme. Two things I want to say. First is, it's a human tendency due to our imperfection. We've created a God full of our imperfections. A God that is jealous, a God that, he punishes us, And this is not God. This is what we made of God. And the same thing, we got our imperfections and put in a kind of entity, being called devil. And there are all our imperfections. The worst of humanity is there, represented by a person. And Jesus, we made out of Jesus what he's not. We made our own Jesus with the projection of our imperfections. And it's a human tendency. And we see that, you know, these are, they represent our imperfections. When people say, oh, you know, God, you are the reflection of God. No, it's the other way around. We've made God a reflection of who we are. The same thing about the devil. The devil is us. It's the evil that, you know, exists in humanity. And talking about what Lee said about negative and positive, if we take the example of electric charge, we have both negative and positive. If you take out the positive, the negative is still there. But when it comes to darkness and light, darkness doesn't exist as such, because darkness is a situation where there is no light. As soon as you bring some light, you can't say that you have part darkness, part light. No, you have a weak light. And then this light will grow, will develop, but darkness doesn't exist. You can say, I'll shed some light on you, but you can't say, I'll shed some darkness on you, because darkness as such does not exist. It's just the lack of light. And as we bring some light there, then it makes sense. That's why I don't agree with that idea of balance, because there's no balance between something that doesn't exist, is the lack of something, and something that exists is light. It's just a degree of light, as I see. A very low degree of light is darkness. A very high degree of light is light, purity, or whatever. And I see that as we develop our virtues, we get rid of our imperfections, because those virtues will enlighten the area of our souls that were in darkness. So when we become pure spirits, there will be no darkness in us, because we'll be just the maximum power of this light.
Darkness is the absence of light, isn't it?
Yeah.
And thinking about mediumship meetings where those beings that believe they are only darkness come to talk to us, and through a conversation, they start to see, to feel a little light inside them growing and growing. Is a primary example of it. I like this subject pretty much. I like this study like that pretty much. I like when everybody's talking, and yeah, that's wonderful. As reasonable as it is, as it may be. What time is it? I forgot the time. Okay. Unreasonable as it may be, believing that such communications are the exclusive products of demon would not appear to be impossible as long as the spirits were considered as beings who were created outside scope of humankind. I think we all have to agree that spirits, as we call spirits, are from humankind. We do not call animal spirits. There is an essence of the spirits in animals and everything else, but we do not call them spirits. However, since we know that spirits are only the souls of those who have already lived, this theory has lost all its prestige, and one might add all likelihood of being true, for it would mean that all such souls are demons, whether they are the souls of fathers, children, or friends, and that we ourselves will become demons when we die. Some creeds, they have mediumship. They do not call like that, but they have mediumship happening through their science, through their lectures sometimes. And they used to say, is the saint spirit. what is the Saint Spirit in the Catholic? I'm using Catholic, but it's not just Catholic. In the Catholic sense, Jesus, God itself. Why only then can talk through a medium? So we have different perceptions depending where we are, which part of the globe, which creed. I see your hands up, but I don't know, see the person. Yeah, go on.
It's Christine.
Hi, Christine.
Hi, I'm on my phone tonight because the computer won't work. That's why the hand's raised on my phone. But it was interesting that you talked about animals a minute ago, because I'm at my son's place and he had one dog, and the one dog and I got on really well. But since I've come back to visit, there's another dog here. And the other dog, 3 times since yesterday, has tried to attack me. And I've just looked into the eyes of this dog. And now my son has decided that when I'm around, the dog has to be in a cage, this other dog. I just see something in this dog that I can't explain, but he does not like me. I haven't done anything to him. I've been nice to him, but he scares me. And I see a dog, but I see something else, but I see a dog. And I think, well, that's a dog and I'm a human and we're taught to be superior beings. But what I see is I see a spirit, and I see a spirit that doesn't agree with my spirit. Well, if that makes sense.
I hear what you're saying. But let's be assertive in regards to the situation. Animals are animals. They may dislike you for no reason, because of your smell, because the way you talk, the way you walk, something you don't think that would scare them, but it did. They are animals. I would not see anything beyond that. They are animals. Animals, they do have the spiritual body. Sometimes we can see animals, discarnated animals, if I can say like that. And we do have tons of information in Spiritism about animals in the spiritual world. I do not see an animal being driven by anything else. I do not see that. I'm not saying I'm right, but I do not see that. What I do see is that some animals really don't like one person. They don't. I had a dog that loved everyone in the family, but did not like my brother at all. I was pleased with that, because at least there was something different. There was no reason and a spirit behind the dog trying to push the dog. No, I wouldn't see like that. I wouldn't see like that. We have to be very thorough when we think everything is related to a spirit. A couple of things are not. Actually, most of things are not. But as we become acquainted with the Spiritism information, we start to think, this is a spirit, this could be spirited. I only consider something related to the spirit, to a spirit, after I was able to eliminate anything else. It's like, let's think about, let's go to Spain now, right? We have a Bulls tournament. I strongly recommend you not to wear red, because that will get his attention. And if you are in his way, he'll come after you. We know that. We know that. Why I'm giving this example? Because sometimes we don't pay attention to details, and we may go on the streets on that particular day where the bulls are free to run, because that's culture over there, and we are wearing red. That's not going to work well. It doesn't mean that it's in the spirit pushing that bull to come after you, you know. So we have to be very careful to relate everything to spirits. Very careful. I love dogs, by the way. So I strongly recommend that next time you come around this dog, bring him a treat. Bring something that he really likes. I never met a dog that do not like steak, a nice steak. Bring something to him to see if that may change something. Just a thought. Hi, MUNIR.
I can have it. No, just to mention that I've had a dog, he would attack anyone wearing a hat. If you're wearing a hat, he would attack. He would get so angry. I don't know what the hat meant to him, but
yeah, we need to be open to everything, all possibilities, but we need to evaluate everything. A couple of things do not have an answer. I do not have an answer for why he hates hats. I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea. Perhaps someone kicked his butt when he was very little, was wearing a hat. Perhaps someone like you, for example, MUNIR, did something very bad to him and he kept that in his mind. And everybody that has some resemblance to you, he will react like that. I don't know. Really don't know. Christine, is your Ren Hayes or was that for the previous time?
Sorry, Gil, were you talking to me?
Yeah, your hand is raised on the cell phone.
Oh,
Do you want to
I'm
say
so
anything?
sorry. No, sorry, I didn't have a question. I was laughing. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, done. So consequently, too many people, it is not very flattering.
2 minutes to
Yeah?
go, Guilherme. 2 minutes to
Oh,
finish.
okay, I'm talking too much. Sorry.
There was
So saying that, there was a very wonderful study, a great opportunity to share our thoughts, our experience. That is what the study is about, right? So I truly encourage you all to share